sit back and let me show you which school. I'd like to give you a little information about myself and how I arrived at which school. Many, many years ago, I was sitting around a campfire at a Girl Scout camp out with my fellow leaders. And there was a fellow leader that did a Christian ministry to Jamaica every year. And even though I had left the Christian faith when I was 23, I had never really found a faith that fit all of my criteria for me to have to bond myself to it. I investigated many, many faiths. But I always supported the faith choices of all of my friends. So every year, I would give her a small check to help her with her trip to Jamaica for her ministry program. This particular year, she seemed very hell-bent to label me as a Christian because I was doing that. And I tried to tell her, no, I'm doing it because I love you and I want to support you in what is your passion. She said, so what are you? And I told her, well, I'm not anything. I've looked at every religion that I can think to investigate from around the world. And there's always been a yes, but. And I really never felt comfortable bonding with any of them. But I do have a code of ethics that I lead my life by. And that code of ethics is basically I can do whatever I want, but I can't harm myself or anyone else. And the second part is that all life is sacred. And to me, life is at the cellular level. Cells split and subdivide, and if it's a cell and it's got a nucleus, it's alive to me. Doesn't matter whether I can see it at that level of detail or not. And then the third one was that I couldn't just take from the world. I had to give back to the world around me, and I had to do service. Immediately upon finishing that explanation, another leader piped up and she says, Lori, I know exactly what religion you are. And I said, oh, what's that? She says, you're Wiccan. And I'm like, nah, that's not a serious religion. That's just something that the girls are into. It's a fad. And she says, no, seriously. And she recommended a couple of books for me to read. And for the life of me today, I couldn't tell you what those books were. But I read the books. And oh my God, I went running over to her house and I said, Jessica, guess what? She says, what? I said, I'm Wiccan. So I did bond with the Wiccan faith. There was no yes, but for me. Everything that was in the basic tenets, I could see me living my life with. So I became what I like to call a Barnes and Noble witch. I found everything that I could get my hands on to read, hung out at Barnes and Noble reading everything, waiting for new books to come in. And I spent my life this way several years until my son outed me to my husband accidentally. And even though my husband had shared the same moral compass that I did, as soon as you put the label witch on it, it became dark and evil. It was a bone of contention between us, so I went in the broom closet. I kept reading my books. When my daughter went off to college, we put a protection spell over her entryway to her apartment and little things like that. Fast forward a couple more years, and my husband and I separated after 35 years of marriage. But I still maintained contact with him. And one day we were having lunch out, and he said, so, is this witch thing going to stick? I said, yeah, I think it really is. But don't worry about it because I've never even been to a ritual and it's been years. So, don't worry about it. So I'm driving home, and on the way home, I'm like, okay, Lori, why haven't you been to a ritual? You're no longer having to worry about his views on the subject. What are you going to do about it? So I had been a member of the Jacksonville Pagan Pride Association, just following their website for many years. And about that time, a lady posted that she was starting a Carillion study group. And I called her and we hit it off, and I went to the study group. What she was teaching was first degree from witchschool.com. And she was Carillion at that time. So I joined the study group. I met very wonderful people. Um, I joined the study group mostly for my own benefit because, as you can see, I'm a little advanced in years and memory is an issue with me. So I thought if I did things repetitiously and was discuss them with other people, that it would stick better. I needed that sense of community and that sense of doing to think it would stick better. And that was in the fall of 2010. Well, it wasn't shortly after that that I realized that 80% of pagans are solitary. Most pagans do not belong to an organized group in an organized tradition, in an organized religion. They kind of find their own spirituality like I had done, and just not had a label for it. And I worried about those people. Okay, so who does all the pagan rites for these people? The hand fastings, the funerals, the wickenings, the cronings, the saging. Who does all that for these people? They don't have anybody to go to. So I decided to study for the priesthood for the Carillion nativist tradition. And in our tradition, you have to be third degree to be able to independently perform a legal marriage or a funeral. Before that time, you must do it under the imperium of a third degree. So I decided when I started my clergy journey that I was going to become third degree. I knew that going in. Many, many people do not. Many people get to first degree and say, okay, I'm good. I got it. But I wanted to do service for my community by being able to do any rite that they needed me for. So I decided to go for third degree. Well, I got my first degree in March of 2012. After having started in October of 2010. I was working full time. I was juggling this failed marriage and 2 kids going off to college. So I had a lot on my plate. First degree at witch school and through the Carillion tradition, I like to describe as Wicca 101 from a Carillion point of view. You will find, if you are around Carillions for any length of time, that we are Wiccan, but we do have some nuances that we believe a little differently than some of the other Wiccan traditions out there. The thing that hooked me in to Carillianism was that we teach all religions are equally valid, that everyone has the right to find their own spiritual practice. And whatever that is, it's right for that person. It doesn't need to be right for anybody else but that one person. So that was the thing that made me say, okay, there's no yes but here. This is something that I can support. I moved on and got my second degree in April of 2013. And I like to describe the second degree program as finding your psychic niche. It's a good foundational study in many, many, many forms of divination from around the world. And it also throws in some group management and those kind of topics as well. And then I got my third degree, and I got that in September of 2014. And I always describe this as the meat and potatoes of the Correllian degree program. This is where we turn a priest or priestess into a high priest or priestess. There is a difference. It is a transformational journey of self-discovery, self-healing, of uh, learning how to do public events, learning how to teach, how to manage groups. So between the 3 degree programs, you are well grounded in not only Wicca, but also metaphysical practices, divinations, and then how to lead, how to lead a group, start a coven, lead a coven, create a tradition, even. But you do not come out of 3rd degree the same person you went into 3rd degree as, because of this self-reflection, the shadow work, the healing that you receive. I started mentoring at Witch School in 2014 when I founded Chosen Path Church, which today is a 6-year-old Correllian temple. We have our own space. We have a congregation of close to 40 people. We're very, very active, and I have a lot of temple students, but I also have a lot of witch school students as well. I became the CFO of Correllian Educational Ministries in 2015. I am an accountant by trade, and Correllian Educational Ministries is a 501c3 that includes Witch School International, Pagans Tonight Radio, Magic TV, thedailyspell.com, which is our social sister site, and Witch School International. In September of 2016, I became the volunteer student coordinator. I would answer students' issues and take care of our students on a daily basis. When our beloved Lady Wendy died in August of 2018, I was promoted to Dean of Students and Dean of Mentors. There are several other Deans of Mentors. I don't do this job by myself. We have Lady Anna Rowe in the UK and Eurospace. We have Lady Rain Packery in South Africa, who takes care of the African continent. And we have Lady Vivian Dewey, who is our mentor trainer. She trains all of our mentors so that they can give our students a consistent and wonderful experience as they go through Witch School. Let's see, what else? Spring of 2007, I became an archpriestess, and this is a recognition of the work contributed. There is no class you can take to become an archpriestess or priest. You have to show that you are willing to devote significant time and produce excellent results for the tradition to earn that title. And then lo and behold, just last month, I was knighted in the Order of Orpheus, which is a ceremonial order within the Correllian tradition as a recognition of service to the tradition. Now, I didn't tell you all those titles and all those certificates and all those milestones to toot my own horn. You can call me Ray, you can call me Jay, but I want you to understand and have a concept of what you can accomplish if you find your passion through witch school, and what spiritual growth you can have and how you can help so many other people along the way and literally change the world. I use witch school for my temple students. You can be a temple mentor at witch school, or you can be a witch school mentor. But I am a temple mentor that takes witch school students occasionally. But I make all of my students go through witch school. And you're like, well, why do you put them through that? Well, when I was studying for my first degree, my mentor lost all of my work. We were handing in physical papers at the study group, answering the questions at the end of each chapter. And she lost them. She lost the papers, or she tossed them out. She had grades recorded on her hard drive on her computer that got fried during a thunderstorm one night. So all of my records were gone. Shortly after that, the mentor stopped mentoring, and I had to have a new mentor to finish up my first degree. My new mentor wanted to see proof of work, as was rightly so. We should not take someone's word that they have completed this work. We need to see proof of work. So I went back to my original mentor, and she couldn't produce them. Luckily, I had copies of all of my work on my computer. And I sent those to my new mentor. She regraded them graciously, and that's how I got through first degree. Again, I am not young, so I would feel horrible if something happened to one of my students and they had to go through that same experience. So I make them do all of their work on witch school. I record all their grades on witch school. If I get hit by a bus, their grades are safe. Their progression is safe. It's also a benefit to me because everything's graded on witch school. And I save a lot of time that I can invest in other passions for grading chapter tests. Now, there are some final exams that are essay. There are some offline assignments. But those, I can enter the grade. So even if I do get hit by a bus, that evidence of that work is there. So that's why I make my people go through witch school. Alrighty, so why witch school? Why come to witch school? There are, if you're active in the witch community or the Wiccan community or other pagan faiths, you're going to get bombarded by advertisements from a lot of different places. There are other very good pagan communities that have schools. Do not want to sound like I am discounting them in any way, shape, or form. However, we were the first. Witch school has been here for 20 years. Our catalog is forever growing. Our volunteer corps of mentors is forever growing. And a lot of what you see is not from a reputable source. What you see are what we call funnel schools. They're run by companies that are not connected with any pagan faith. And they set up these websites that give you video content. And the sole function of that website is to get you to sign up for a fee and take these classes for a fee, and then just play your videos. It might be 10 hours of video and suddenly you're a first degree priest. That's not how any of this works. Those sites I will dish. They are in it purely to make money and take advantage of the popularity of the Wiccan movement and the witchcraft movement. So I encourage you to do your homework on any site that you're thinking of signing up with and see if there are real people with real skills, with real mentors available for you. We have over 280,000 accounts at Witch School. Let me put that into a concept for you. Most towns, if they're a good sized town, have about 40,000 people. Do the math, and those are all the witches and Wiccans and heathens and Iceans and many other pagan paths that we have trained. We have students in 180 countries around the world. Our website is able to track the countries that our students come from, and we have accounts from 180 countries around the world. The site is automated into over 100 languages, and I will show you how to change the language. We have tested this translation with German and Spanish and Portuguese and Greek, just people that I know on a one-on-one basis that I've asked them to take a look at the translation and tell me whether it's good or not, because I personally haven't had any language since high school and long time ago. But there are over 100 languages there that the site will automatically translate into. One of the other things that distinguishes Witch School is we're not here to sell you anything. We are here to provide you a pagan education anytime, anywhere. There are no books to buy. There are no course supplies to buy. There are no hidden costs whatsoever. If your account is free, it's free. If it's supporting, it's that monthly supporting fee. It's nothing else. There's no hidden costs. Now, how do we take care of those 180,000 people on a daily basis? Well, there's me as Dean of Students and Reverend Lori Blackman as Assistant Dean of Students. And we spend a significant portion of our day taking care of mundane issues like I lost my password, I can't find this, where is it, that kind of stuff. And then we have dozens of highly trained mentors that work with the deans of mentors to take care of our students. All of these mentors have completed the coursework that they are teaching, that they are mentoring for. So they have in-depth knowledge of not only the subject matter, but the actual content of the courses. And they have all been through an extensive mentor training program led by Lady Vivian. Once they complete that training course, they have to apply to become a mentor. I get emails all the time from people who have been in the craft for 30 years and want to mentor at Witch School. And I have the duty to inform them that we would love to have you mentor at Witch School. However, you have to complete our coursework first and our mentor training. So not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that thinks they're a hereditary witch or that they've been doing it for 30 years can become a mentor at Witch School. I want to start sharing my screen. And show you the site. So this is the home page of the site, and here you'll see it anytime, anywhere. Anytime Online Magical Education. And it's pretty much menu driven. You'll see that you can drive the menus from it. Now, this is what we call the main site. And on this main site, you can see how many accounts we have. You can register through this. A short explanation of what Wicca is, and then a link that tells you what the requirements are for Carillion Wicca first degree. There's a link to go to frequently asked questions. If you are a member and you've forgotten your password, you can use this link and have it emailed to you. However, if you no longer have access to that email address, please email support@witchschool.com, because the automated email will go to that bad email address and you'll never get it. So if you don't have access to your Witch School email account, please go ahead and just email support. And again, allows you to sign up. We also have a selection of videos that change every day, and we have the welcome. We have maybe the latest ritual or two. We might have an interview with a notary in the pagan community. Every day, check these videos and see what's the latest and greatest. And then down at the bottom, there's a bunch of useful links where you can get to companion sites. You can request your records, get to me, start advertising on Witch School. You can set up your membership or turn off your membership subscription, get to tech, mentor support, and just good old support. So this homepage serves a lot of functions. On the staff page, which I access with this click, you will see short bios of not only the board of directors of Witch School International, but you will also see many of our wonderful deans and mentors. And these are short bios. Now, this is not everyone. Not every mentor has a bio on the site, but you can get to kind of see who you might like as a mentor, and when you're trying to pick a mentor from the drop-down list, and go ahead and have them in mind for your mentors. Now, all of our mentors are equally qualified, but maybe somebody shares a hobby with you. Maybe somebody lives near you, is in your country, or whatever might draw you to them. There's a little bio here. Okay, that's the staff page. Let's go to the courses. So I'm going to courses, and this is our course catalog. And it is broken up into two catalogs. We have the free basic catalog and we have the supporting catalog. So the free membership has over 35 classes and the supporting membership has over 100. If you are a supporting member, you can sign up from either one for a class. If you're a free basic account, you can only use the first one. And say I'm interested in tarot. Just let's look at tarot. Well, in the free basic courses, there are 3 tarot courses that you can take. Say I'm interested in herbs. Well, there's a couple of herb classes I can take in free basic. So whatever you're looking for, you can put in here. Say you contact mentor support and they say, oh, well, to get a mentor as a free basic account, you've got to take CWC 101. It will bring that up. So you can search here for anything that you want. You can also use the languages to translate the catalog. In the upper right-hand corner of the site, there is also a selection for languages, and that is much, much more extensive. So it's amazing. I never knew some of these languages existed, but it's way cool. What does the catalog cover? Well, when we were setting up the courses, we set them up in what we call categories, and there are about 10 different categories. And those cover things like Carillion, other pagan paths. We also have courses that you can use for the Egyptian path. We've got many different, we've got heathen courses. We've got many different paths available to you. A lot of pantheons and ancient cultures, everything from Sumerian to Egypt to Middle Eastern, South American, whatever you're looking for, you'll probably find it. And if you don't find it, email support@witchschool.com and suggest a person that might be willing to write that class for us. Everything that you need to become a Corellian priest or priestess is available in the free basic account. So you can do everything you need to do to reach priesthood through the free basic account. There's many kinds of divination available. There's tarot, there's pendulums, there's Eastern divination rites, there's palmistry, you name it, it's there. A lot of metaphysical topics and witchcraft topics, like how to write your book of shadows, how to write spells, how to write a ritual, herbalism, crystals. There's a lot of modern pagan topics like pagans in the law, pagan chaplaincy. So there's a lot of current modern pagan topics as well. There's also an extensive library, and I'll show you that in a few minutes, but there are over 290 PDF books that you can download. So you don't have to live at Barnes and Noble. You can download books from Witch School for free, and those can go on your Kindle as a PDF. We also have chat rooms. There are multiple chat rooms that can be used by students. The chat rooms are only as active as the students make them. We do not have people that camp out in the chat rooms to generate traffic. The traffic is based on what the students want to talk about. We can also use those chat rooms for study groups or committee meetings or anything that it's needed for. You can message on the site your mentor. You don't have to go through emails to message your mentor or the staff. You can get messages directly to them from within the site. Let's see what else. Oh, the biggest one. Remember when you were back in school, your formal education, you were in a classroom of anywhere from 30 to 150 at the college level, 300 sometimes, and you had to keep pace with that class. You had to keep up with those lessons, and those assignments were due at a specific time, and you had to keep up. And if you didn't keep up, you either flunked the class or got left back. Witch School is a learn at your own pace school. The class starts when you register for it. The class ends when you finish the last test. And whatever time frame that takes you, that's what it takes you. So this is very much a self-paced learning environment. There is a break in there, however. Sometimes you'll see people that want to just speed through the content. They read, take the test, go on to the next one, take the test. And many, many years ago, we figured out that that was not really conducive to our students. You're not going to retain that material, covering so much material in a short amount of time. B, you're going to go through so much material, you're not going to remember where it was. When you get to that comprehensive final, oh my God, where was that question from? We have what we call author designated testing periods. So you'll go into a multiple chapter class, and at the end of each chapter, when you take that test, the next test won't come up and be available to you for a designated period that was defined by the author of the class. So some classes it's 7 days, some classes it's a month, some classes it's 2 weeks, but that's controlled by the author of the class. So you cannot power your way through the material. You are encouraged to digest the material, to practice the material, to go through it again and review it before you take the test, to check out the library and see if there's a related book that you could dive deeper into that topic if you wish to. But spend that delay period really absorbing the material. This is not a race. Even when you have gone through third degree, you are learning for the rest of your life. No one can learn everything there is about witchcraft or about a pagan path and say they're done, because it's like an onion. There's always another layer to peel back and make a discovery in. So there's no set schedules. You set your own pace, and it's available to you 24/7, 365. If you work third shift, you're not going to miss a class. If you work second shift, you're not going to miss a class. If you have to pay attention to your family during the day and you can only study after everybody else is in bed, you're fine, because it's available to you 24/7, 365. Okay, so now you've heard me talk about free membership and you've heard about me talking supporting. Supporting memberships, you can do the same thing with this catalog. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to become a student at witchschool.com. And I am going to have an alias of new student. This alias can be anything that you want it to be. It is the name that other students see. So if you wish to stay in the broom closet, define yourself an alias. You don't have to. You can put your name there, but if you see that little red asterisk, it's a required field. And so we're going to go with new student. And we're going to say what our birthday is, and I'm going to say 03/17. No, let me use the calendar. Yeah, it wants me to scroll back. And let me scroll back. I'm going to say January 1st of 2000. And I'm going to give it my email. My email is new student, new WSI student at gmail.com. And I'm going to create a password. And that password confirm that password. And let's see if that's fitting the criteria. Maximum of 10 characters must include numbers, letters, and symbols. So let me add a symbol to that. and a symbol to that. Okay, and you can put your street address if you want to. You don't have to, but then you do have to put your country. And the reason why we have to have your country is because of international internet laws. We do want to have your state, and I live in Jacksonville. And I'm going to pay attention to this. How did I hear about this? Well, I heard about this. How did I hear about this? I heard about this because of Magic TV. I watch the videos on YouTube. And if I have already an account, I can click there. And if I want to read the terms of service, which you can open those up in a new link, and there's all your terms of service, the legal mumbo jumbo, and I can register. Okay, and now it wants me to log in. So I'm not going to log in with that one. I'm going to do new student, USI student at gmail.com, and I'm going to use that password. And it's going to take me now into the subscription page where it tells me the benefits of WSI. Notice the become a student has disappeared. So now I'm logged in. I can log out, but I am logged in. And basically, this gives you the difference between a free basic account and a supporting account. A free basic account, you get a 3-day free trial with full access to both catalogs. After that 3 days is over, you're limited to the free basic account, course catalog. And if you have registered for a supporting class, you won't be able to access it. Your work is not lost, it's on your transcript, but you won't be able to access it. You can register for up to 5 classes at a time, and you have full access to the library, as well as you can use us on social media and go over to the Daily Spell and create an account over there. For the supporting membership, you have access to all 35 plus courses of free basic, plus over 130 courses, and that's growing all the time. You also can register for 8 classes at a time instead of just 5. Plus, you have access to all of our mentors. For the free basic account, the only mentor we will provide you is a first degree Correllian Wicca mentor. So in a supporting membership, any class that you take, you can request a mentor for. You can complete all of the coursework required to become a Correllian High Priest. Now, completing that coursework does not make you a Correllian High Priest, but it gives you everything that you need to fill out your application to become one. You also have access to the library and the chat. Now let's look at the payment plans. The first supporting membership level is $20 a month. And when we set the prices for the new website, we actually went out and did a competitor analysis. Our closest competitor, which are those fly-by-night cheap, not really a person behind it, so they don't have any costs, we're 2/3 of that price. So we're 30% cheaper than the ones we looked at the time. There are a lot of them out there now that personally I have not looked at because they're not worth my time. But $20, that's how we arrived at the $20. For a semi-annual membership, you're getting a discount, you're getting a month free, and then for An annual membership, you're actually getting 3 months free. So it's well worth it to lock yourself in if you want to. You can subscribe to our newsletter here. Every once in a while, we will send out a newsletter for happenings in the community, events coming up, topics of interest, and you can subscribe for those there. And then you have the same footer on every page that allows you to get to wherever you need to go. The other thing that I wanted to mention was if you are looking for questions, if you have a question, we also have this lovely frequently asked questions on the main site, and it's each one of them you can click through, and it will have a little verbiage there. And then, as always, if you have any questions that are not answered, you can always click support, and that will allow you to email a question to support. So now, all right, I'm a member. I'm thinking about signing up, but I'm gonna keep my options open, and I'm just gonna try their 3-day trial. Well, where do I go from there? Well, you notice this dashboard up here. By clicking the dashboard, first time you click it, you're asked if you want to be opted in or opted out from communications from us. I highly suggest that you opt in, unless you've given us a phony email address. Then don't bother, because we'll turn it off for you when your activation email boomerangs. So I'm going to opt in because I want to know what's going on in this school I'm just joined. So I opt in, and it gives me this little update is successful. Here's a little bell. I can tell if someone has sent me a message, and it will give me a little blurb on who the message is from. But if I want to check my messages, I'm going to come over here on the left-hand side and check the actual message. My name is now up here, and there's this sideways G. And that is where I can access the dashboard or the main site. Say, okay, I'm ready to sign up now. I can go back to the main site from this. I can also look at my profile. And when I look at my profile, this is what I see. And it gives me my WSI account number, which if you contact support, they're either going to want your account number or they're going to want your email address that is attached to your account to be able to find you in that 280,000 plus student database. It gives me whether I've opted in or opted out of the global communications, and it allows me to upload a picture. So you can upload a picture, an avatar, whatever you want, and that sideways G will go away and it will be replaced by that picture. It will let you update any of this information. Say your email address changes or you've moved, whatever needs to be changed, you can do it here. It also gives you the ability to change your password. It tells you what your subscription information is. I don't have any right now, but if I did, it would be here. It would give me not only what kind of subscription I signed up for, but it would give me the PayPal ID for that if I ever need to contact PayPal about anything. And it will give me when the next renewal is coming. So if you signed up for a 6-month subscription and you can't remember the renewal date, you can look in your profile and find it. And then it allows you to see any notes that have been registered to your account. Sometimes your mentor or the administrator of the site, me, will add a note on your account. So you'll be able to see any notes that are on your account. So that's how you look at your profile. So you can get back to the catalog page from your profile by clicking this simply. And so today I'm going to go ahead and sign up for Carillion 101 because I want to become a priestess. So I'm going to click register now, and it will ask me to confirm, and I'm going to say okay. And then I'll get this success sign up here. And now I am registered for the class. I can access it one of two ways. I can double click on the title and it will take me right to the course in my dashboard, or I can come up here and access my dashboard by clicking that way. I want to spend a minute on this home page of the dashboard. In these announcements, you'll find as they scroll by, they are very beneficial. They tell you about sister sites. They tell you some of the information I'm telling you in the course about the delay. They also have embedded videos. So if you don't know how to get to where you want to go or how to do what you want to do, you can use these embedded videos to watch. They were provided by the programmers of the site, and you can follow along and do what you need to do on the website. There's also a calendar here, and every one of these blue lines is an event. If you have a pagan event that you would like on the Witch School calendar, if you're a member of Witch School, send it to support@witchschool.com. I will contact you to get all the pertinent information, and we'll get you on the calendar so that our 280,000 student base can see that information. It also lets me have a wish list. So I didn't mark a wish list class, did I? So let me go back over here, and I want to do a tarot class. And I don't want to do it right now because I just signed up for priesthood. I've got to focus on that. So I am going to go ahead and just click that little heart, and that puts it on my favorites list. There is no limit to how many classes you have on your favorites list. You can mark them to your heart's content. As you see them in the catalog, if they're of interest to you, you can go ahead and mark them. And then you can go to your dashboard, go to your wish list, and there's that class. So now I don't have to remember, okay, was that in the free basic catalog or was that in the supporting catalog? It's right there on your wish list, and you can click through and register for the course. You have the ability to sort those, you know, whatever you want to do. You can remove it from your wish list by clicking it and removing it, but that's how you use your wish list. From the courses, you'll notice there's two drop-down menus, and one says current courses and one says completed courses. Well, I just started today, so I bet you there's not anything under completed courses. What do you think? But there should be under courses, my current courses. And this is the CWC that I signed up for. I don't have a mentor yet, but there's the course. So I access that course by using the action wheel. And that action wheel gives me several things that I can do. I can view the course. I can look at my transcript for the course. I can withdraw from the course. Say, I've loaded up, I've got 8 classes, and my mentor tells me I need to take another class that's not on that list, and I need to take it now. So I can drop a class, I can withdraw from that class, and it will start me back up when I register for it again, exactly where I dropped off. None of my work is lost, but I can clear a spot on my transcript to take that class that my mentor wants me to take. And then you can give feedback on a course. So let's go look at that Carillion CWC 101. When you access the course, you're taken to this screen, which has a short description of it. It also gives you an overview, lessons, where it will take you to each individual lesson, and I will start it, and notice the next lesson is not available because this has a 2-week delay. and then it will give me the test. So the first time that I access that course, it's telling me I've got to wait 13 more days to take the test. That's 13 days for you to familiarize yourself with the material, learn the material, and do well on the test. So that gets me to grading at which school. Grading at which school is done on a 4-point scale. So you can have a 4.0 or 3.5 or 3.0 or 8.5. The only time you can take a class over at which school is if you flunk it. If you flat out get a 0 and you flunk it. So pay attention to your classes. We treat transcripts as sacred, just like a college does. Once it's on your transcript, it's there. So really study for your tests and pay attention to the wording and take it seriously, because once that grade is there, it is there. The only time we will correct a grade on your transcript is if there was a system glitch. So, we take it very seriously. This will tell you that there are 14 tests and 13 lessons in this course, so there's a final exam. Betcha it's comprehensive. And then it allows me to choose a mentor. So let's go into that. And it says, okay, select a mentor. And oh my goodness, these are all the mentors that teach first degree. Not all mentors teach the same class. They pick and choose what they want to invest their volunteerism in. It also does not show you the mentors that are at capacity. Each mentor only is allowed 20 students. And we do this because at the end of your clergy program, a letter of recommendation is required from your mentor in order for your application for clergy to be approved. So we need that mentor to develop a close, personal, but professional relationship with you in order to give a quality letter of recommendation. So we limit each mentor to 20 students. You'll notice my name is missing from here. I'm maxed out. So all of these mentors are available. Now, occasionally, you will find that you join a Corellian temple or shrine, and they tell you, well, I'm a temple mentor at which school. That means that they're not going to show up in this list, but they can still be assigned to you as a mentor. What you will do is click Request a Mentor. This will generate an email, and in that email, you can tell us who your temple mentor is, and I can assign them to you. Or you can have your temple mentor forward me an email from you requesting them as mentor. I will not take a temple mentor's word for it that you should be assigned to them, because many people in temples decide that they would like a different mentor than their temple head. And the thinking about that, and I'm not going to say what's right or wrong, is that it gives you a different paradigm to see the material with. You have your high priest or your priest in charge of your shrine, and then you have your WSI mentor. And that gives you two people to mentor you through your journey and give you knowledge and perspectives and paradigms. So some people like to separate those two, and that's perfectly okay. That's fine. I don't think you'll find anybody in the Corellian tradition that would balk from that. So I'm going to pick a mentor. Please do not just pick the first one on the list. The first one on the list is there because of a totally unrelated reason. Every person on this list is equally qualified. I'm going to choose Lori Blackman. Okay. And what happens is she now has a message that is generated to her in the system that says, new student demo has asked for you to be the mentor for their CWC 101 class. And the mentor will go into their mentor screen and they will either accept or reject you. Now, rejection doesn't mean that they don't like you. It means that they are almost at capacity and they have a temple, so they want to save a few spots. It means that life for them is crazy right now, and it's really not to your benefit to have them as a mentor at this particular moment. So don't take it personal if a mentor rejects you. Or if it's for a general studies class as a supporting member, when you have finished that general studies class and you no longer need them as a mentor for that class, they need to free up that slot in their 20-person capacity, so they will reject you because you have now completed the course. And that's all that means. I really wish that when we had written the site, we might have used a different word than reject, because that has a little connotation that is not meant. So what does this actual lesson look like? Well, let's go in and let's start the lesson. Let's go in there. And you can see that this class has, this chapter has 6 pages. It's got videos, it's got verbiage, and all I have to do is scroll through it. All the parts are there, the study questions are there, many, many videos, visualization exercises. And that's one of the things that sets Correllianism apart from other pagan religions, is our founding member 140 years ago was also a spiritualist and was of Cherokee Native American blood, and also from Scottish blood. So we have the Scottish witchcraft tie-in there. So spiritualism and being able to do psychic abilities is very, very important to us. We do not think of someone who has passed through the veil as gone from us. We are in touch with their higher self through our training, and we start that training very, very first lesson of Correllian Wicca. So that's what the class looks like. So then when my 13 days are up, I can simply go back into my dashboard, go to my courses, click on my action wheel and view it, and then go to my tests. And this will go away and it will be available. I can click it and it will take me into the first test. Most classes, the chapter tests are 25 multiple choice questions. Most classes, the final exam is either 25 or 50 multiple choice questions. The second and third degree, the final exams are essays and essay questions, and there's a lot of them, and it's comprehensive of everything you've learned from the beginning of your journey. So it's a lot of hard work. I'm not gonna lie. This is not, oh, I want to be high priestess tomorrow material. This is, I am becoming a real high priestess. It's not just a label on a paper. Oh, how to withdraw from a class. I showed you that. Click that. Let's go back to my dashboard and let's look at the library. Here is the library, and I can put up to 50 books on a page. I can sort it any way I want to, and do the order and click go. I can also find a file. So if I know, if my mentor said, you know, you might want to check out blah, 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 I can type blah, 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 blah here, and it will come up. So as you can see, there are classes in many different languages. I'm just going to randomly click on stuff. We've got a dogma, we've got rituals, we've got Harry Potter, we've got household gods, Kabbalah. Let's go to the end, more German. There's also a glossary that you can check, and that will take you, oh, that is a supporting membership feature. So I got the little error message up in the top corner. See if you see that error message. There you go. And then I can get to the glossary for any of the classes if I want to just do a quick search on words. So as a student, that's basically the site. So I'd like to kind of go through and open up the mics, and if there are any chat questions that need to come to me.
There are a number of chat questions that have been asked as we've been going.
All right.
So if you're ready for them.
I am ready. Fire away.
I think some of these may have been answered as you've been speaking, but I'm going to go ahead and repeat them.
Okay.
First question came to us from Angel, who asks, how long does it take to become a first degree through which school?
How long does it take to become a first degree through which school? Remember that you are becoming a first degree through the Carillion Nativist Church, not through which school. Which school is preparing you for this? The minimum requirement to become a first degree is a year and a day. So the day that you register for your class, your year and a day, register for CWC 101, your year and a day starts ticking. Now, there are only 12 lessons in CWC 101, and they allow you to take the test every 2 weeks. So you can see that that math doesn't work. Well, there's a couple other requirements for Carillion first degree. You also have to take the 5 Mystic Secrets. You have to take Carillion philosophy and Carillion ministry. And you have 2 offline writing assignments. So however long it takes you to complete that is how long it takes you, but you cannot apply for clergy standing until a year and a day after you start your journey. I am also Master of Records for the Carillion Nativist Church, so all clergy applications come through me, and I check that on your transcript. So don't bother applying 6 months after you have started your class, because I will have to send you a very polite letter that will say, please apply again in 6 months. And I'll give you a date that it's safe for you to apply. Now, it took me, I started mine in September of 2010, and I didn't finish until March of 2012. I have known people that have taken 15 years to get their first degree because they started studying, kids came along, disabilities came along, life just came along. And when life settled down, they come back and they pick up where they left off because all their records are safe here on WSI. So it really just depends on you, but the minimum you can apply is a year and a day.
And you just answered the second question, which had to do with whether there's a specific curriculum for clergy students.
Yes, the question is there a specific curriculum for clergy students? Yes, there is. And once you get your mentor assigned to you, they will provide you that information. If you're just curious and you want to see what that is, go to Carillion.com and go to the applications menu item. In there, you can actually download each of the applications, and on those applications will be the date end the course that was required. And when you actually submit your application, you obviously would put the date that you completed it there. So you can see all of the clergy requirements as far as the classes go. For each clergy level, there is offline assignments. For first degree, it's 2 writing assignments. You can either write 2 500-word essays, or you can write 1 500-word essay and 2 500-word guided meditations. For second degree, you have to complete a project that takes 25 hours of your time to plan, execute, and document. And that project has to be approved by your mentor. Once you complete your second degree requirements, you have what we call a defense, where your mentor sits down with you in a one-on-one conversation and you talk about your clergy journey, what you've learned, how it impacted you, those kind of things. For third degree, and this is why I say you don't come out of third degree the same person you go in, the first assignment is doing a life map in symbols, not in words. So you can be an artist and draw it. You can find images on the internet to use. You can make a collage with newspaper or magazine clippings, but it's all about being able to communicate with images. And your third degree mentor will explain why that is so important. After you do that life map, you do a soul retrieval. Now, a lot of life coaches and a lot of traditions do soul retrievals, and it's unique to each of those situations. In the Carillion tradition, a soul retrieval is a healing guided meditation with the goddess. So your facilitator for the soul retrieval walks you through a guided meditation where you receive healing for the wounds that you discovered while you were doing your life map and many other wounds that you may not even be aware of. That is a life-changing experience. The third part of the offline assignments is that you must write and teach a class. This can be presented in a myriad of ways. It could be presented online if you're homebound. It could be presented at a CUPS group, at a local coven. It can be presented to put on Witch School as a class. It can be done in many, many ways, and the options are limitless. Again, it must be approved by your mentor. And then the final step to go through for the offline assignments is to do a public event where you represent the Carillion nativist tradition. And that public event has to have an investment from you of 50 hours of work. Now, that public event can be many different things. It can be an online event. It can be an event in the physical. You could host a pagan picnic. You can have a pagan gathering of some kind. You can do many, many different things. The options are limitless, and as long as it's approved by your mentor, it's a viable option. So don't let that scare you. Now, if you are disabled and homebound and there's just no way that you can do a physical event, we can guide you through how to do an online event. But you have to, as a high priest, you have to be comfortable speaking publicly. So this is the hoops that we put you through to make sure that you can organize events and do that public speaking between the class and the event. So that's the criteria.
Next question. And this is actually two questions that I have put together. Can you begin as a basic student and become a supporting student? And if you do your basic grades transfer to your new supporting status?
Absolutely, and that's what we hope you do. We hope that you come to us as a basic student, get comfortable, and are happy with the content of the website, the support that you get from support@richschool.com, and that you feel comfortable investing your hard-earned money to become a supporting membership. The supporting membership fees cover our basic costs. That's why they're so low compared to other websites out there that are trying to earn a buck. We are trying to make the school self-sustaining, but it is not a cash cow to us in any way, shape, or form. It is a vehicle to spread paganism around the world. It is not, we're getting rich off of this scheme.
Does it matter what path you follow in regard to becoming a student and or becoming clergy?
It does and it doesn't. We offer a pagan education. We try to be very, very diverse. We try to have as many paths represented as possible. I am constantly talking to leaders of traditions and asking them to consider putting their clergy training on Witch School, because all religions are valid. And we want to make sure that you don't feel pressured in any way, shape, or form to become Carillion. That's not why we're here. We're here to give you access to many different paths. So there are starting information for several traditions on the site, but you have to go back to that tradition just like you do for Carillion. You have to go back to that Carillion.com to actually become priesthood. It is a very diverse world, and we try to represent that entire world of paganism. Did I get the second part of that question? I'm kind of thinking I left something off.
I think you did, but I can reiterate that it doesn't matter what path you follow to be a student at our school. We offer all kinds of courses and all kinds of paths. If you're looking at becoming Carillion clergy, then it does matter that you need to be on a Carillion path. However, that is also very inclusive. But if you're becoming clergy of a particular church, obviously you are of that particular church.
And this is not just a spiritual site. Witchschool.com is a metaphysical site. So it has there's a difference between Wicca and witchcraft. Wicca is a religion. Witchcraft is a craft. You can be any religion and be a witch.
And we teach both.
And we teach both. So if you want to be a witch, but you're perfectly comfortable with whatever spiritual path you may or may not have, we can teach you how to be a witch.